Okay, today I'm going to be discussing what I've found in researching Buddhism. Keep in mind that I am a Christian, but I think we all owe it to ourselves to examine the parachute on our back because the plane is going down. Everyone's going to die eventually. So I think it's silly not to at least, look at everybody else's parachute and say, okay, do I want that instead? So the parachute we're going to be looking at today is Buddhism. And I apologize for being biased. I'm going to honestly look at what Buddhists believe according to what I've found online and talking to other Buddhists. But I'm going to do my best to stay away from Christian sites or places that would be obviously completely biased against their belief system. Now, I want to also say that talking to other Buddhists, many of them are actually insulted that I am including them in this study of religion because they say that Buddhism is not even a religion. So I'm not here to argue that. Maybe it's not. But all I know is it is the basically in a three-way tie. First, you have the largest is, of course, Christianity. Next is Muslims. Next is Hindus, and then you have a three-way tie. But Buddhism kind of ekes out as a fourth highest number of followers. But with that said, let's just say that as belief systems, maybe you don't want to call it a religion. If you're a Buddhist, I respect that. But that said, it is a belief system to a degree. So I guess what some of them are saying also is that you could be a Buddhist, a practicing Buddhism, and you could also be a Christian or other faiths. I will admit that this would be the easiest of all the others to mix with any other religion or belief system. Okay, let's get on with the little discussion here about Buddhism. Okay, first of all, my first question was, do Buddhists, do they worship Buddha? No, that's not actually what I found. What I found was Buddhism was actually founded by a man, I will totally mispronounce his name. It is Siddhartha Gautama, born in Nepal, India in 623 BC. Now he is born a rich prince of a Hindu king of that time, basically. And at 29 years old, he actually leaves his home and he goes out and lives in the forest for 6 years practicing meditation. Basically, he's trying to discover the meaning of life. He's not happy with the Hindu religion. He's not happy with anything else that he's found. So he's going out to discover, for himself what he can find. Now he goes through a lot of things out there, but basically, while sitting under a tree, later would be called the famous Bodhi tree, he became enlightened. And how he became enlightened is not discussed, but he did become enlightened, and he began teaching others about this experience. Now, so he became known as the Buddha, or enlightened one. This symbol for the religion is the Circle of Dharma. Okay, for all the religions, I did basically the same thing, or belief systems. Basically, I wanted to see what they kind of had in comparison to what they believed alongside of Christianity. Anyways, God, they actually believe there is no God or divine creator being. You heard right. They do not worship Buddha. They do not believe there is a God. In fact, many people consider themselves atheists that are Buddhists. I actually have had several people already write me saying, I don't believe in a God, and that's fine. That is what they do not believe in a creator God. Now, it gets a little more complicated later. We start talking about gods, but there is no creator God in their religion or their belief system. Creation The universe is eternal with no beginning. No creator exists. So basically, there is no story of creation, and the explanation for this, when Buddha was asked, and this is very commonly recorded, is Buddha said that he would not go into a discussion of the origin of the universe. To him, gaining knowledge about such matters was a waste of time, because a man's task was to liberate himself from the present, not the past or the future. So he was basically saying, I'm not concerned with that. I'm just living in the now. I'm not worried about my past. I'm not worried about the future. Let's just get things done now. Which, I mean, I can see thinking that way, but again, it leaves anyone that's a Buddhist, you have no idea really the origin of the universe. Now, some of you may decide that you believe in evolution. Some of you decide you may believe in something else. But what I'm saying is the Buddhist way of looking at things is it's not important. So everything just always was. No beginning. No creator exists. It just somehow happened, but no one did it. Sin does not exist. Much like the Hindu, and of course remember, this man that created this religion was formerly Hindu. So you're going to see a lot of their belief systems are a lot like Hinduism. I mean, I'm not trying to poke fun, but to me it almost looks like it's Hinduism without all the gods. Or maybe you could even say a combination of atheism and Hinduism. But again, that's just me on the outside looking in. Again, they believe that, it says, Buddha believed mankind does not have a sinful fallen nature. He believes everyone has good and bad traits. By doing good or bad works, karma, you will bring about good or bad future happenings in this life and the next. Okay, heaven and hell. They believe that both are temporary. Basically, here's their explanation. There are 6 realms of existence. All are temporary, then you die and are rebirthed up or down the ladder. Ultimate goal is to escape these and reach nirvana. Now, those of you who watch my Hindu story, to me, nirvana is a lot like moksha. You know, once you, in other words, an escape. Now, keep in mind that some Buddhists believe nirvana is an actual place. Others believe it's just an escape. So, these are the 6 realms of existence. You have gods. Now, that's getting a little confusing because we said there was no God or no creator being. But they do believe there are gods out there. It's just these gods didn't have anything to do with any creation of the universe. So there are gods. There are titans, which are demigods. And then there are this category called hungry ghosts. And I'll explain that a little bit later. Then we have humans. Of course, you know what those are. Then animals, and then hell beings. So you can go up and down this ladder according to your good works when you pass away. You could pass away, and according to your good works, now you become a hungry ghost, or maybe a titan, or maybe even a god. Or you might go down to an animal, or you might even go down to a hell being. Okay, let's get to the way to heaven. You know, I mean, we have these 6 levels of existence. I understand that. But if you want to beat the whole thing and you want to escape and get to nirvana, and again, some people believe it's a literal place, like a heavenly paradise. Others believe that nirvana is just an escape from the havoc, the cycle, you know, the pain, whatever. But basically, the things that Buddha told people to study would be the 4 Nobles of Truth, the Noble Eightfold Path, studying Dharma, and exercises of meditation. So basically, by doing these things, you could reach nirvana. Okay, Buddhists, what they think about Jesus and no different than pretty much every other faith. All the faiths or belief systems, or however you want to say it, they all believe that Jesus was a good person, a good teacher, maybe a prophet. They never say anything bad about him, very rarely. Here's what I researched. It said, regarded as a fully human, good man or teacher, thought of positively for sharing some of the same ideas as Buddha, while disagreeing with all his beliefs on God, creation, and sin. Now, Buddhism, much like Hinduism, their quotes are going to be all about you. It says, believe nothing, no matter where you read it or who has said it, not even if I has said it, unless it agrees with your own reason and your own common sense. Buddha. So again, their belief system is very, you can do it. Here's another quote from Buddha. It says, you can search throughout the entire universe for someone who is more deserving of your love and affection than you are yourself, and that person is not to be found anywhere. You, yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. Buddha. And you can Google these. I'm not just picking out like two that I thought. These are probably about two of the most famous quotes you're going to find in Buddhism. It's all about you. You can do it. No one else deserves your love and affection. We hear a very similar speech like this given in the Garden of Eden by the serpent to Eve. Okay, I was going to try to explain these different six realms of existence, but after studying them, there is so much variance throughout the belief system of Buddhism that I'm not going to try to explain them. In fact, some people don't even believe they exist. You're going to have a lot of variance about the whole system of of reincarnation and whatnot. But basically, as you can see, those that do believe this, there's a ladder of up and down. You see where humans are at, and you either go up or down this ladder. But again, I'm not going to try to explain this, and again, some Buddhists don't even believe these exist. Buddhism is regarded by some as atheism. It's very similar, but then there would be those that are Buddhists that would be very insulted for someone to say that they were atheists. So I think you'll find both in this belief system or religion, however you want to describe it. But that's what I found about Buddhism and what they have to offer. And now I'm going to do a critique about Buddhism, and I apologize to anyone out there that's Buddhist, because I'm Christian and I've got my own parachute on my back, and during my critique I'm obviously going to be pointing out cracks in the system. So if you don't want to hear that, you don't need to listen to the rest of this video, and I will try to be as non-insulting as I can. Okay, let's start at the beginning here for my critique. First of all, the biggest problem I have with Buddhism is I don't understand how someone could go out into the woods and somehow become enlightened when he doesn't even believe there's a creator God or divine being. Now, granted, I'm guessing he believed there was some sort of, gods, titan, demigods, and hungry ghosts and whatnot, but something out there must have influenced him, but he doesn't talk about anything that influenced him or how he became enlightened. So, sitting under this Bodhi tree, he just somehow becomes enlightened, and he basically teaches a belief system that is very similar to Hinduism, except for there is no creator God, and there's no, a lot of gods in the religion. Okay, there is no God or divine creator being. Obviously, I disagree with that, and I don't understand how, whether you're Buddhist or whether you're atheist, how you're going to choose this as your parachute. I mean, basically, to me, you're hoping for the best if you're an atheist, and if you're a Buddhist, you're hoping for the best in yourself. And it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Okay, now creation, it says the universe is eternal with no beginning, no creator exists. What's interesting is I will say that it's hard for me to argue with them saying that the universe is eternal, because I personally believe that the creator of that universe is eternal. One of those statements is true. They believe that there is no God, and just that, creation was always here. Somehow it either created itself. Well, no, it couldn't have created itself because it was always here. So that's hard to wrap around your mind, but they could say the same about me believing in a God who is eternal. But to me, it's easier for me to believe that an eternal being could create an eternal object like space. Granted, it had a beginning, but to me, space has no end. If you shine a laser out up into the sky, it's going to hit one planet and the next and the next, and eventually that laser would get to Pluto, and eventually to a brick wall that said the end. No, of course not. Because if there was a brick wall, that laser would just cut right through it, and there's something out there. Now, scientists, they want to tell you that space is ever expanding. Well, what's it expanding into? I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me that space has an end somewhere. You're not going to come to a wall and be like, okay, we're at the end here. No, you're going to go right through it. There's always something on the other side. Okay, just as the Hindus, they don't believe in sin. And the problem with that is it's pretty easy to see out of billions of people, not one person out there can keep from telling a lie. Every person is a liar, and you can't deny it. And you can take a baby and you can raise it in a lab, and you can give it nothing but good things, never lie to it, and it will still lie, steal, manipulate, and be selfish. Now that tells me that people are infected with a condition of some sort. I call it sin, but to just say that everybody's neutral and now you just have to rely on your good and bad traits or good and bad works, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Now again, I didn't get into the description of each of the levels of existence, but basically most Buddhists believe that when you die, you will either reincarnate as one of these beings, or that you will just die and be able to escape, go into a nirvana. I mean, that's basically the goal of the Buddhist. I want to end by saying that I apologize if I've offended anyone by calling this a religion or by not calling it a religion. And I encourage anyone that's Buddhist or practicing Buddhist to comment. I've already had some really nice insights from some of the Buddhists on there, and some of them were telling me to do my research. That there is no God, and that they're very much like atheists. Well, I'm sorry, but that's exactly what I'd already found out. But I do appreciate their making sure that I was enlightened on this. But I appreciate any comments. Make sure that you are kind to everyone else here on the post, and that way we can all discuss what parachutes are on our back and try to get to the bottom of this. Okay, I just want to add that I will be coming out with a series of videos. I've already done Hinduism, and today we're doing Buddhism, and next we're going to be discussing the Muslim faith, and then we're going to keep going, and eventually we're going to get to Christianity, and that's what I believe, and I hope that you will look at the parachute of Christianity and compare it to yours and make a decision for yourself.